Genetic testing, the preventive revolution that could save your life. Welcome to the soft girl era. I'm thrilled to share with you today some powerful insights from my recent interview with Sheree Hinton, a remarkable advocate for genetic testing and cancer prevention, who's making an extraordinary impact in healthcare accessibility, particularly for women of color. Sheree isn't just talking about change, she's creating it, building bridges between cutting edge medical science and communities that have historically been left behind. Her work is literally saving lives by empowering people with knowledge about their genetic predispositions to cancer. And her passion for this cause is nothing short of revolutionary. Have you ever wondered what secrets your DNA might be hiding? What if I told you that inside your cells right now, there could be information that might completely change how you approach your health for the rest of your life? I used to think genetic testing was something reserved for pregnant women or people already diagnosed with serious illnesses, something distant, clinical, maybe even a little scary. But after speaking with Sheree Hinton, I realized I couldn't have been more wrong. Genetic testing isn't about confirming your worst fears. It's about claiming your power. It's about taking the blindfold off and seeing what's actually in front of you instead of stumbling around in the dark, hoping you don't hit anything. And let me tell you, this knowledge isn't just interesting, it's revolutionary. It's life saving, especially for Black women and other women of color. Did you know that despite overall improvements in cancer mortality rates, a 34% decline over the last 30 years, Black people are still experiencing death rates 2 times higher than white people for many preventable cancers, 2 times higher for cancers that could be prevented or caught early? That statistic should make us all pause, and then it should make us all act. Because here's the truth that Sheree Hinton shared with me. An estimated 40% of cancer cases in the United States may be attributable to modifiable risk factors. That means nearly half of all cancer cases might be preventable with the right information and the right actions. Let that sink in for a moment. Nearly half of all cancer cases might never have to happen. This isn't just about statistics, though. This is about real people, real lives, real families. Consider the story of Maria, a 38-year-old mother of three who had watched her mother, aunt, and grandmother all battle breast cancer. For years, she lived with a sense of dread, wondering when, not if, cancer would find her too. But Maria's doctor suggested comprehensive genetic testing that went beyond the well known BRCA genes. The results identified something Maria had never heard of, a mutation in her PALB2 gene. Most of us have heard about the BRCA genes and their connection to breast cancer risk. But PALB2, that's likely new information for many of us. Yet this gene, when mutated, can increase a woman's lifetime risk of developing breast cancer to between 35 to 60%, compared to about 13% in the general population. With this knowledge, Maria didn't panic. She planned. She opted for preventive surgery, dramatically reducing her cancer risk. What could have been a death sentence became a life affirming choice. As she told her doctor afterward, for the first time, I feel like I've broken the cycle. My daughters won't have to live with the same fear I did. Maria isn't alone. Thousands of women who discovered they carry genetic mutations through testing were able to make informed decisions about their health. Some chose enhanced surveillance, more frequent mammograms, MRIs, clinical breast exams, catching potential cancer at its earliest, most treatable stage. These women didn't just sit back and let genetics determine their fate. They used genetic information as a tool, as a weapon in their arsenal against cancer. And it worked. But here's where it gets even more interesting. In a comprehensive study examining the relationship between genetic testing for cancer risk and subsequent cancer screening behaviors, researchers found something remarkable. Among those who received genetic testing with assistance from genetic counselors, 100% were adherent to cancer screening recommendations. 100%. That means every single person who knew their genetic risk and had professional guidance followed through with the recommended screenings. Every single one. Compare that to the general population, where screening rates hover around 80 to 85% for various cancers. That difference might seem small, but it represents thousands of lives that could be saved through early detection. And yet, in that same study of 6,629 respondents, only 3.3% had undergone genetic testing for cancer risk. Only 3.3%. This is where we have a massive opportunity. This is where we can change the narrative. This is where we, as individuals, especially those from communities historically underserved by healthcare, can take control of our health destiny in a way that generations before us couldn't. Take the story of the Johnson family. After the patriarch Robert was diagnosed with an aggressive form of prostate cancer at age 45, genetic testing revealed a hereditary mutation that increased cancer risk. This discovery prompted all seven of his siblings to get tested. Five carried the same mutation. Because they knew early, they implemented rigorous screening protocols. Two precancerous conditions were caught and treated before they became life threatening. One family, multiple lives saved, all because of genetic information. The landscape of genetic testing is evolving rapidly. What was once expensive, limited, and required a healthcare provider's involvement is now becoming more accessible and consumer friendly. Technological advancements have made genetic tests more cost effective and accurate. Direct to consumer testing has removed traditional barriers. The genetic screening market is experiencing rapid growth, driven by increased consumer interest in personalized medicine and preventive healthcare strategies. As Sheree Hinton emphasized in our interview, this democratization of genetic information has significantly expanded access to preventive health information, potentially addressing disparities in healthcare access that have plagued marginalized communities for generations. But I know what some of you might be thinking. I don't want to know if I'm going to get cancer. That would just make me anxious all the time. I get it. I really do. Knowledge can be scary. But you know what's scarier? Not knowing something that could save your life. Genetic testing doesn't tell you that you're definitely going to get cancer. It tells you that you might have a higher risk than the average person. And with that knowledge comes power, the power to take preventive measures, the power to get screened more frequently, the power to make lifestyle changes that might reduce your risk. It's like knowing there's a hurricane coming. Would you rather know so you can board up your windows and evacuate if necessary? Or would you rather be caught completely by surprise when the storm hits? And let's be real for a moment. Many of us, especially women, have been conditioned to be strong, to push through pain, to put everyone else's needs before our own. We wear our ability to endure like a badge of honor. But that's not strength. That's not the soft girl era we're embracing now. True strength is in vulnerability. True strength is in saying, I need to know what's happening in my body so I can take care of myself. True strength is in preventive care, not just crisis management. As Sheree Hinton beautifully articulated, knowledge through genetic testing provides options, not limitations. That perspective shift is everything. And here's another perspective shift: genetic testing isn't just for you, it's for your family too. If you discover you carry a genetic mutation that increases your cancer risk, that information could be vital for your siblings, your children, your cousins. Your knowledge becomes their power too. This is especially crucial in communities where health information hasn't always been freely shared or easily accessible. By taking this step, you could be changing not just your health trajectory, but your family's health legacy for generations to come. So, what should you do with all this information? First, schedule a conversation with your primary care doctor about your family history of cancer. Be thorough. Go beyond just your parents and siblings. Ask about aunts, uncles, grandparents, cousins. Cancer patterns in families can skip generations or appear in distant relatives. Second, discuss whether genetic testing is appropriate for you. If you have a strong family history of cancer, especially breast, ovarian, colorectal, or prostate cancer, genetic testing might be recommended. Third, encourage your family members to do the same. Share what you've learned. Break the silence that too often surrounds health issues in our communities. And finally, stay current with recommended cancer screenings based on your age, risk factors, and genetic profile. Early detection saves lives, period. I want to leave you with this powerful thought. Every day we make choices about our health. Some seem small: what we eat, whether we exercise, how much we sleep. Others feel monumental: whether to undergo a medical procedure, start a medication, or in this case, learn about our genetic makeup. But here's the truth: in the face of diseases like cancer, knowledge isn't just power, it's survival. It's the difference between being blindsided by a diagnosis when it's too late and intercepting disease before it takes hold. Your DNA is not your destiny, it's your roadmap. It doesn't dictate where you must go, but it can show you the terrain ahead, allowing you to chart the safest course. So I challenge you today: be brave enough to look at your map, be wise enough to share it with those you love, and be bold enough to use that information to write a different story, not just for yourself, but for generations to come. Because when we know better, we can do better. And doing better means living longer, healthier, more joyful lives. That's not just healthcare, that's revolutionary self love.